honestly, on this map with all the open space, I feel like Hela and Winter Soldier get some space to work. They could really produce. It might be hard for Doom to get in on the flank here, even with all the strategist support.
Wise for SHROUD-X to actually aim a ban at the Rocket Raccoon. They must know, of course, that Daze prefers to come in on that Bucky when possible, but Vision's already been taken down. That's the volatility that the Hela invites into the game. Vision, of course, able to get back into the fight here with that Karmic Revival. Soul Bond active here on SHROUD-X as they want to push up just a little bit more, but Doom is low on the periphery. SHROUD-X in general taking a lot of damage, and Vision dies a second time to Amadian, who is not missing on this Hela.
Yeah, Amadian gonna start to take over this fight now, right? And taking down Vision, that's the primary other duelist that would be actually challenging him. Star-Lord too scared to take this engagement. Support from Invisible Woman as well. So Amadian over the top is gonna be assisting in getting this fight cleaned up for Shikigami.
Already, Krasmang is trying to set some of these walls up here to hit SHROUD-X as they move their way through. Soul Resurgence available for Nuck. He's going to pop it straight away. Fate of Both Worlds also active here for Shikigami now. As in we drop it to Meteor M that doesn't seem to find too much, but a big stun on Impunity and Vision will render SHROUD-X virtually useless in this fight. Nuck at least will be able to return to the fray, but floating on down is Amadi and Jake finding another key kill on the Mantis.
Hela used just to stay alive here, but I think that's all Hela really needs to accomplish. She's already done her work, securing a couple eliminations. These are just going to be staggered on the map, but is it too little too late?
Potentially. Mad Cannon there takes Vision down pretty much straight away, and Doomed at least gets a Bulwark shield as they try and back away. Galactic Legend is available. They might want to try and get some airtime here as the Strangling Prison comes in and Impunity falls to Amadi, and again, they're running away with the game. Daze falls. Doomed at least is able to find some value here on that Star-Lord, but Vision is caught on the outside of this fight looking in, and we are already at 80% and counting. Shikigami are holding onto an invisible boundary to boot.
Yeah, Shikigami has a real mastery of this map, and they're just tightening the noose now. Every hold is a little bit more forward, a little bit more aggressive as they take yet more of the map away from SHROUD-X. Now it's going to be a little bit tough to get this recontest in. Vision gonna sneak in from lower, try to work a cheeky pick, and then he does have that ultimate to back up the play. Shikigami, do they see this coming? The point touch comes in.
Okay, Doom has the touch. Here comes the Galactic Legend now. It's a pretty safe angle he's trying to take. There's, of course, a Fate of Both Worlds in play for Shikigami. They've come up with that ultimate at just the right time, and Ricky has not had to ultimate at all this round. Here's the Meteor M coming on down. Scattergenki now parting with that key ultimate, and Dongmin's able to get some work done. Amadian crucially picked off at the start of this fight. The mission's unperturbed here by, of course, that invisible boundary. Still happy to throw some of those shots in. But Shikigami are down to 4 players here, and it's a matter of time before they are evicted.
All right, SHROUD-X, they're going to get the flip here. Resets now coming for Shikigami. They've got what they came for in the fight. They've secured 99%.
People in place. The Groot ultimate is very powerful in its own right. Some of those walls here trying to be erected as in comes Impunity. They do catch that front line out, and Daze is on the receiving end of some of that Magneto damage. He won't be able to limp away. Krasmang also is picked up, but it's a backup here for Amadi, and they are likely going to have to leave the point, though. Not much they can do against the whole team.
The flip is nice. I'm not sure that's worth it. It makes it a little bit awkward to hit the forward hold, but I think SHROUD-X are going to be back in time to keep resetting and dealing with this high ground, and they are just ticking up. It was a relatively cheap fight using only that Groot ultimate. You feel pretty good about that for SHROUD-X. Going into the next fight, they also have the advantage in the strategist ult department, so SHROUD-X are actually in a pretty solid position. That being said, though, Doom pulled into his death. Full back now for SHROUD-X. They try to regroup, try to meet that spawner. They're going to have to fight 5v6, though.
You've got to watch out. Tainted Voltage can pull you down from the sky if you are airborne. It's something you've got to respect, especially at those closer ranges. Amadian's got a pretty safe vantage point here. This is great frontline pressure that's being put down. You can see Dongmin can't really hang around now. It's got to be a Meteor M from Dongmin. Try and break himself out of this deadlock here, and almost was able to catch on to Ricky, but couldn't bring him down as the Fate of Both Worlds for Shikigami keeps him nice and topped up. Kraken Impact comes in for Daze. We see the debuffs apply, but no resets as of yet, and Vision is speculating. Oh, buddy! He goes fishy, and he comes out with Moby Dick. That is messed up.
They're waiting on the point, waiting for the teleport. Magic is well online. Can she bring that chaos?
Here we go. From above, got us a death here from Amadian. They're going to be knocked out of it here. It looks like they didn't quite get the value they needed, but Impunity has fallen. That has caused the Groot off the table here for SHROUD-X. Fidel and Nook going to have to keep them topped up, but it's a big job. It's a tough ask, and Amadian able to bring Nook down. We have a switch to the magic of all things. Daze coming off the Winter Soldier and is able to find some value. Vision can only hover. Look on in dismay as Shikigami spend much of the round getting folded in that second half, but come back to reclaim the point.
Maybe a tiny bit of over-ulting from SHROUD-X in that last squad.
Krasmang able to bring almost 3/4 of that ultimate into this next fight here. Might be critical. As Impunity is soaking up most of the damage here. See the screen being thrown up there by the Magneto, and desperately gonna have to back away. Nice use of the bulwark there. Impunity will live to fight another day, but Shikigami have priority and a start in the cap.
This is a big advantage here. Now you have to walk forward on this Groot, taking tons of damage. Full commitment from SHROUD-X. They look to contest this point, but pulled in by Bucky. Groot is in big trouble. However, traded right back.
Daze is going to fall now. Winter Soldier starting to get a bit of action here. There's going to be Fidel with the fate of both worlds now. Shikigami have to wait this out, but they do not have the staying power. Meteor M here, a bit desperate from Shikigami. Something that might have been better left in the back pocket for another fight. Clearly hoping to try and take down that Lunar Snow, but Dinks also invests an ultimate here. Really, it feels like it's just going to drag things out. Nobody in control of the point yet. Vision's able to find Amadian, and eventually SHROUD-X will have the first cap.
And Shikigami threw good money after bad in that fight, dumping that Luna Snow ultimate despite losing players. And so SHROUD-X are in control with 5 full ultimates. They're in a fantastic position. Needs a bit of a hero play right now from Shikigami if they want to win this next fight. Maybe the best you can hope for is just draining this massive ultimate bank that SHROUD-X have to work with.
Here's Doom on the screen. Kraken impact at the ready. Bear in mind, though, Shikigami still have plenty to work with themselves. We've run into a huge bank of ultimates on either side pretty quickly in this round. 24% and counting. Shikigami now going to play around the Goddess of Death here, and Doom might have to reposition very quickly. There's damage coming in around, but most of the SHROUD-X players are able to get out of line of sight of that. Daze, though, finds some revenge. Stern connects with Impunity, and now the Groot is out of the picture. An invisible boundary is going to be drawn here. Daze has to work from the outside of it, though. Here's Meteor M. That's scary. Dongmin gets deep, tries to throw it out. A Scatter Genki does go down. SHROUD-X still with the advantage.
Yeah, they're in control for now. Fidel dropping low. Vision as well, forced into ult. Trying to clear this Hela off the flank. Gets the job done in the end. It's an expensive hold, but they still have kept control of the capture, ticking up over 60%. Now Shikigami on the retake. They have an incredibly potent ultimate setup, though. Crazy Man, if you can land this strangling prison, you're going to be hearing some against in this next team fight. That Bucky ultimate, so insane at cleaning up. However, Fidel almost has the Luna Snow ultimate. That's going to be the key number to watch right now as Shikigami look to get in.
Yeah, up to 90% now. Fidel is definitely going to have that fate of both worlds ready for this next fight. Shikigami biding their time, but there's only so long they can afford to waste. It's 80% and counting now for SHROUD-X, and it's time to go in. Big damage here taken by Impunity, but they're able to jockey back a little bit now. Shikigami surely have to start to push forward here. Crazy Man's trying to get there, of course. Daze has a Kraken impact. Rodian goes in with it, does get good catch there, and Nuck does go down. It means a reset for him, but Daze is going to bide his time, try and get more of those debuffs on, and he has applied them, but it's going to be very difficult to trigger a reset now with that Luna Snow ultimate active. Shikigami now have to regroup. They still haven't capped the point, but a Meteor M might let them break through one individual. Hot on the heels was Fidel trying to get away from the Meteor that nipped at them, but Crazy Man is able to find 2. And Shikigami in this last round of Royal Palace. You can see Amadi already trying to take one of those little off angles up there, but it's a tight one at best. And with these group walls in the way, it may be difficult for decent sightlines to be set up here. There it is. That was the Strangling Prison combination. If I'm not mistaken, Daze comes on in with a Kraken impact. You hinted at it last round. We were made to wait, but it was worth it. Beautifully done. That's 2 kills off the back of that. And Shikigami are on the road.
That's insane focus fire, though, from Shikigami. They're able to kill through a very early defensive Luna Snow ultimate. That wasn't a mistake from Fidel. He had the ultimate exactly the time it was needed. Shikigami just found the burst all through that threshold. I mean, pretty impressive, actually, even with the Kraken impact, you know, mitigating some of that. That's just well played from Shikigami. I think a big test of these teams in Marvel Rivals is how much they're able to hit that focus fire and overcome those key thresholds on the strategist ultimate.
It's a great point. I mean, there is just so much healing that you've got to be on the same page. The shot calling's got to be extremely crisp in terms of the target that you're trying to focus down. Mardian is looking for a flank, probably to try and assassinate a backline here pretty quickly now, but you got to connect these shots. Okay, invisible boundary going to come down now. Mardian has not been able to secure that kill, and it's going to be an ultimate here from Vision. Damage is coming down. It's unclear what Vision is able to get done. Mardian pops up in the air right next to Vision, will be knocked down to the ground and left with a knife between their shoulder blades. A little bit awkward, but Shikigami are happy to drag this out a little bit and to win the fight to boot. They're above 50% in this round.
Yeah, Madian, I think, brought a lot of chaos into that fight. You know, didn't get the instant picks he was looking for, but maybe forced some of those strategist ultimates to come out a little more quickly than the attackers would have liked. Now, SHROUD-X on the retake. This could be the final fight of the round, and it's Shikigami who have the ultimate advantage. See who can work a pick. Maybe Fidel can charge up that Luna Snow ultimate and make the key difference here. But it'll be a lot more difficult for Shikigami to find the resets with no Strangling Prison.
I mean, this is SHROUD-X's best window, Jake. There's no two ways about it. And that's even with Daze, of course, having a Kraken impact at the ready. How do they extract value from just this one ultimate? Impunity got a ball walk, so Daze holds on to that Kraken impact for a time. Goes a little bit low, it's getting a little bit messy. In the midst of things, Daze is eventually dragged off of his horse. Ricky trying to keep a respectful distance, but now a wedge has been driven in between these Shikigami players. They're desperately trying to regroup now without their Winter Soldier, and they're at 99% now. So anything more than this is a round win or a full regroup. And of course, that Fate of Both Worlds is active for them. They're going to use it to buy some time, get Amadian at least in a position to do some damage. Crazy Man goes low, but look at that. They managed to catch out both players behind that shield, and it's only the one to go down. Vision is removed by Amadian, but Doom comes in. Kraken impact goes crazy.
But it's a long road ahead to make the comeback and win map 1.
Meteor M, Strangling Prison, both at the ready. These two very powerful Vanguard ultimates could stop Shikigami in their tracks, even with an invisible boundary for Shikigami to make use of. They are the interlopers now in this situation. They can at least play from this high ground now as Crazy Bang and Scattergengi trying to cross to this low ground. Scattergengi biding his time, has to be noting, I'm sure, at the periphery of SHROUD-X's set up those strategists. They're trying to catch Impunity out for the time being. Maybe burst the Groot down. That might be the plan. He gets a ball walk though. So Scattergengi has to wait on this one. Tries to throw that in, but Doom's able to dash away with the shift. And Dongmin now has a meteor of his own. Throws it down. Big damage on Crazy Man, but that invisible boundary is going to top the Groot back up. And Dongmin found himself very overextended very quickly, Jake.
Yeah, Shikigami are going to be cleaning up on map 1 here. Vision pops the ultimate, but no way you're getting value with the full focus fire bearing down on
with
you.
Adam Warlock in play. So Doomed and Nuck, of course, especially, are going to be that much harder to remove from the game in general. Doom can play just with that extra level of aggression here. The Guardians of the Galaxy team up is a little powerful at the moment. Just like we saw in Europe. Shikigami, though, putting out some good damage. Look how low Vision is right now. In fact, everybody taking a face as they try and push up into Shikigami. Here comes Doomed over the top, though. Not quite enough to secure any eliminations, but definitely good heal pressure being put down by the Star-Lord here. Doomed, though, has to respect the oncoming damage, especially from this front line. As these walls come up, there'll be Vines lashing. A good damage on Crazy Man. Desperately, Shikigami keep their Groot alive, and Amadian was bought enough time to take Impunity out of the game.
Picking up the Groot is a huge opportunity for Shikigami to get back in, start forcing the cap. Crazy Man follows it up with another one onto Dongmin, and now Amadian walls down, no Vanguards to stop him. Cleaning house here on the point. It'll be a quick flip back, but SHROUD-X have 20% in the bank. It's not nothing to write home about here. However, Shikigami looking at a full stack of pretty much going to have 6 ultimates for this next team fight. Now we're going to see SHROUD-X. Do they have the execution to handle the triple strategist comp? I think this is a much more challenging comp from a team play perspective to execute. You know, these strategists need to be really on point when it comes to getting these incredibly long fights to actually go your way.
And you're asking for a lot of damage from the Luna Snow as well. A lot of the time she needs to use that Ice Arts, honestly, to go on the aggressive. Here we go. SHROUD-X going to try and push their way out. It's going to be a Soul Resurgence to start this fight off. A Meteor M, though, threatens them from above. Scattergengi about to deploy that one now. Dongmin also reciprocating. His, though, is a little better. Looks like Second Mouse gets the cheese is a real thing here. Daze falls, but Vision is out of the game. They should be able to come back with Cocoon Revival. Yep, they will be into the fight pretty quickly. So SHROUD-X still working with a full cohort of 6 now. As the Strangling Prison comes down on Amadian, had nowhere to go. Vision blows him up there with the standard attack, and this will be SHROUD-X victorious. Should be able to break back in now, as it's just Scattergengi to be shifted off the point, Ricky to be cleaned up, and we're good as gold.
Not only do they win the fight, get the flip back, but Shikigami held on tight there. They committed many of their critical ultimates to try to make that hold, and they failed. So SHROUD-X are actually in a fantastic position in the round. And this is a map in particular for triple strategists where holding on to the point is incredibly strong with, you know, the ability for Star-Lord to play above choke points on off angles. Really awkward to walk in. Now Amadian, he doesn't have any of that space to work with. He's got to earn each inch as he comes back into the map, and he's going to have to be dueling Vision the whole time.
Yeah, it's also awkward, I think, when the point shifts to being higher than your spawned location.
Oh, what a
It's hard
pull.
to get an advantage point. Nice little combo there. Barnacarm catching Impunity. No need for Daze there to make use of that ultimate, of course, but there was a wall that cut off the enemy Groot. This is a huge player advantage now, and just be glad that Groot also doesn't benefit from the team up with Adam Warlock. That would be ridiculous. Impunity, though, does get revived with that Karmic Revival. This is SHROUD-X still at full force. Vision values the Groot enough to spend an ultimate on bringing just him back.
Yeah, the moving structure kept Vision moving while he was ulting, and so Amadian couldn't land the shots to cancel that out. Now, though, they're charging into the room with the help of the Star-Lord, taking the commitment to Shikigami. Ults being popped from both sides.
Yeah, finally seeing that Kraken impact here from Daze, and two players got caught by that debuff. Nuck goes low, and Impunity will fall. It's the duelist, the Shikigami, able to stand up and provide the damage where needed to break through the immense healing throughput of this triple strategist look.
SHROUD-X gonna get up to 92% now. Flip comes in for Shikigami. They're gonna need to make 1 or 2 holds here. They have a couple valuable tools, especially Ricky with this invisible barrier. Timing and positioning on the ultimate are gonna be key. Really needs to be careful. If you pop this off point, there's always the threat of SHROUD-X just taking the fight to the cap. Same time, you also have to worry about Crazy Man, the opportunity to open with that strangling prison. We've seen how good they are at focus firing it in rounds past.
One of this the world as well. The Mardian can actually combo with that. It's the only other real sort of ultimate that might be able to link up with AoE capacity. Ricky kept busy. 8 PM at an all-time high, trying to stave off this poke damage. And here comes the prison, catches 3, and in there like swimwear is Impunity. Big damage being put down. Nuck gets there as well. Skadagigi gonna fall now, and Mardian doesn't have much to do from up on high. Fate of both worlds really staves off much of that hella damage, and now SHROUD-X are getting back in control here. Nuck, of course, coming back off that cocooned revival, and Crazy Man tries to shut himself in. I get it, but SHROUD-X, excuse me, able to flip back now, and Shikigami have to portal in to even contest.
Still, there's a couple spawners not yet available. A little bit of off sync there. Luna Snow coming back to the fight. This barrier, though, from the Invisible Woman is securing the recontest. Shikigami, they're gonna have a chance, and they have this Kraken impact now.
No way!
Resets.
Okay, Galactic Legend has to be massive here, but they've got to get past the shield of Skadagengi after switching to this tank, of course, is going to be crucial. Doomed is going to have to revive, excuse me, is going to be out of the fight for a while. Karmic Revival going to be used to bring Doming back into the action, but Crazy Man gets rid of him straight away, and Impunity is surrounded. Doomed is low, has to come in off the top rope here, but doesn't have any healing to work with. As Fidel and Nuck just don't have the line of sight. Agamotto comes over, Skadagengi built that awfully quickly, and now he starts whipping it good, folks. Nuck falls, and Shikigami, just when it looked like they dropped this round, come back in with a sick portal. Skadagengi builds up an ultimate in like 5 seconds, man.
That's so huge that Shikigami in the previous fight were able to get the flip with only 92% for SHROUD-X, right? If SHROUD-X had 95, 96%, maybe that retake doesn't come through. They were able to burst Ricky down as well in the strangling prison before he could get that invisible barrier off. So this is an impressive fight. I mean, I'm kind of curious. I actually feel, did Shikigami, did they intentionally not commit that invisible barrier, knowing that they could get the TP back in and that strategist ult would give them the decisive advantage to win the round? If so, they are playing with a really small margin right here. But that's the mark of some of the strongest teams, though, in the hero shooter genre. They're willing to take risks. They're willing to push things down to the second, maybe the millisecond in finding that little advantage.
I didn't know if they all were aware of that, because Dix was halfway back to the point the old-fashioned way, Jake, and you saw them have to turn around and hot-foot it.
Maybe I'm giving him a little too much credit. There was just good focus fire from SHROUD-X, unexpected burst through on that strategist. Now, though, once again, advantage for Shikigami going into round 2.
Yeah, again, I think just having that Fate of both worlds for a first fight that they can play more aggressively and just try to walk up on the back line. But Strangling Prison has the potential to stop them in their tracks, and SHROUD-X have got both of these strategist ultimates ready to leverage. This is a pretty scary prospect here if you're Shikigami, and they've got to be tracking some of those now, which can be hard to do, of course, in this game. And there it is. I'm sorry. Okay, down to the Dawnlash wall, presumably. Impunity trying to push up here. The Soul Bond means, again, you can go absolutely ham with that Fate of both worlds in play. Ricky gets picked off. They got split off to the right side, Jake, and Shikigami with a bit of a maladroit start to this second round.
Just what you needed, though, for SHROUD-X right now. This is another map where particularly close quarters, particularly difficult for these duelists.
That could snarl them up here. Of course, once they get onto the point, they'd be subject to Galactic Legend. Could be scary. Yeah, Diggs gets caught out here. Look how low Skadagengi is, and there's just not much you can do. You are walking straight into the ocean here with how SHROUD-X are set up. Happy to play off the point inside a choke and cut you to the quick. This is going to be another 10 to 15 to 20% for SHROUD-X.
It's a really nice fight from them. They play with the advantage positionally, and they don't dump ultimates, putting them in a great position to snowball and continue to get ahead in the round. This next fight, though, likely going to be a long one, an explosive one with a lot of ultimates ready to be deployed. That being said, I'm curious to see if SHROUD-X look to still start it off on the right foot, look for those aggressive openings and force Shikigami into an awkward initiation. Seems that this time they're content to play slow, but the point rotates away. Shikigami, where are you going, bro?
That is absolutely brutal. So, suffice to say, a change of tack required here for Shikigami as the map does morph. Amadian's trying to go for an off angle here, but you just don't have the burst damage to get through an invisible boundary. So Amadian is hoping they step back of it. Great work from Shikigami. They pushed SHROUD-X out of that invisible woman ultimate. Now they can lay some damage down. Kraken impact just came online for days, but Scattergengi's already found two. They are going to commit a meteor into this fight. The Galactic Legends coming over the top by Doomed. Can this bail SHROUD-X out? As Shikigami half the edge. Vision back into the fight from that Cocoon revival though, but Impunity had already fallen now. Daze checking that high ground, but no, he's happy enough just to go to work on Dongmin, take him out of the fight. Here comes a Karmic revival here from Vision, able to bring two back into the fight, but it's unlikely that's going to do more than stall this point out a little bit more. Allow SHROUD-X to get to 99.
Daze has been so great with these pulls on the Winter Soldier, making a difference once again. Shikigami are going to get the flip. Now the shoe is on the other foot. Let's see if they can make that run back. They are going to get a couple key stagger kills, and maybe are going to look for more. So,
well, that's fine. Quick reset, as they say. Just end it real quick.
He was so close to his own spawn. He thought, why not?
Okay, Shikigami here. Now we're in control. They also were going to push off the point and try and force SHROUD-X to fight them amongst these chokes. Both of the Strangling Prisons are pretty even in terms of their ult charge, but Crazemang has to be careful, takes a face full of damage and has to back away. He'll likely have his Groot ultimate available slightly earlier. Impunity gets chunked down quick and very timely. Soul Bond comes down there for Vision, but Impunity still has to hide out of line of sight.
Big value now. Shikigami, though, with the ultimate advantage. SHROUD-X, they don't have anything to open with, so I think they're looking to get a bit of an extended poking phase here, charge up some of those ultimates. Dongmin, he's been a difference maker in rounds past, so he can find something as Daze, though, looking in on the flank, trying to get those early picks. There it is. Triple, maybe more.
There is something so satisfying, Jake, about seeing that little impact indicator above your enemy's heads. And that's the combo, right? That was the Strangling Prison plus Kraken impact look that basically guarantees you the win in situations like that. And Shikigami are up to 62.
That's so powerful. They're able to win it off with that, just that combo. Now it's a big fight for SHROUD-X, so they've got everything they should need to make this comeback. That being said, there's always the risk that somebody like a Madian or Daze finds a hero pick, finds something that they shouldn't. SHROUD-X can't give any kind of openings here on the walk if they have big ultimates, but how are they going to open this fight up first?
Dongmin has the launch codes, the red button on his desk, Meteor M up his sleeve, ready to deploy, but it's going to be Galactic Legend over the top first for Doomed. The answer, of course, will be a Fate of Both Worlds for Ding, so plenty of healing now from that Lunar Snow over this fight. Namadian takes to the skies. One more shot on Doomed would have been enough, but he's just too slippery, and he dives into the healing of his own Lunar Snow. Now, Fidel going to hold on to that ultimate, but it'll be another Meteor M that comes out. Rookie gets caught by it. Donmin finds connection, and that is with that invisible boundary in play. Donmin swinging with the sword. Fidel able to get that Ice Arts involved to take the Groot down, and that's what SHROUD-X needed. That's what's going to keep them alive in this map. In the dying seconds of our second round, SHROUD-X looked to close it out, and no portal's going to save Shikigami this time.
Yeah, that's a massive Meteor M connection from Dongmin, right? Shuts down the opposing invisible woman, denies
the shield to make it punishing, but create a virtual choke that SHROUD-X had to challenge. That's pretty big. However, Shikigami are unseated from this high ground. They're forced to play now down towards this low ground, and Doom can sort of flip over the top of them. Good pressure here being put down on Crazemang and Co. Very, very low, and because Doom is soul bonded, he can play that a little bit more aggressive. Looking to come forward now. Galactic Legend is ready. Fidel also with that Lunar Snow ultimate. A lot of healing, and this should be enough in theory to drag down that Doctor Strange. Bam! Big damage on Amadi, and they just could not hide away quickly enough, and this is a devastating run from our Star-Lord. Doom tears strips off of them, and Shikigami get bundled back to spawn.
And Shikigami feeling the hurt of that last round, having to use every ultimate. They only have that Groot ult to start the fight out. It's not enough to find kills. Doom over the top. I mean, that Galactic Legend, when you don't have a Meteor M to counter it, you are in real trouble. Doom shows exactly why. Shikigami, now this is the hard part, right? Making it out of the choke points. Doomed, he's got that constant buff up from the Lunar Snow. He's going to be getting all these shields from the Magneto. Tons of resources being poured into the Star-Lord. Doomed needs to deliver.
We saw that earlier. Dongmin throwing a lot of those bulwarks on that Star-Lord. Let him play a bit more aggressive. We're seeing it right now as the Blaster Barrage came in over the top. Daze, though, hoping to make something happen with his Kraken impact. It will be unassisted by a Strangling Prison, though, and you've got to be a little bit Well, you've got to exercise a bit more judgment about how best to use that ultimate. Shikigami looks like he might be out of position here, but of course with an Eye of Agamotto, we can turn the fight in a matter of seconds. He's full charge and he's going to go for it. Here comes the Eye, catches onto only Dongmin here. Good damage to the follow-up. Of course, the Maelstrom was fully charged, but it was only one player caught by that. And naturally, there's enough healing for this triple strategist composition for SHROUD-X to hold them off. Daze just has to be careful. One step too far, and he's going to get caught by this good damage. Crazy Man also falling, and Shikigami might be starting to struggle, Jake, with this triple healer look.
They definitely are. SHROUD-X played that fantastically well. Great recognition that Amadian was trying to work the flank, trying to get greedy with the Hela positioning. They immediately turned back from the choke point, force her down, and even with the Kraken impact, it's just not enough because you don't have the Hela, you don't have the follow-up to get those executions. Now, this should just be textbook for SHROUD-X. Shikigami on some desperation picks, trying to work some chaos, but SHROUD-X have everything they need to win this last fight.
Meter him here for Dongmin. More of an insurance policy than anything else, just in case that Lambo gets scratched. SHROUD-X comfortable. Here they come. Impunity catching Amadian out of the strangling prison. Vision does fall, but the damage surely already done as Doomed is now able to run roughshod over the back of Shikigami. Cheeky freeze there. Credit to Dinks to try and keep the dream alive. There's not a whole lot they can do with SHROUD-X with a shut out to claim Hell's Heaven.
Really well.
He just popped above the roof, so looking for a way to get in. In comes the dive. Namor does not like being jumped upon. He tries to cocoon himself now and has to give that high ground up. He will drop and try and maybe assume some form of position, but he will never be free just to free fire from this position while Crazy Man is on the map. He will constantly be putting pressure on him. A bit of an inauspicious start here, I think, for the Magic pick, but we do see the sidelock for Amadian here. So Shikigami are playing that full dive setup as well. When they have Mantis and they're not trying to abuse the Guardians team up, that they are looking for a full dive setup.
At SHROUD-X, their strategist right now, Fidel and Nook, doing a fantastic job of just being evasive. Like, you're not seeing them on the Venom screen, which means they're doing exactly what they need to do. Just make space, make time. Shikigami, they don't have time on their side with this offense. They need to find explosive moves. They need to create picks. If SHROUD-X, if you're just 6-on-6 for an extended engagement, this SHROUD-X comp is going to win 99 times out of 100. And it's an extremely favorable damage trade. Shikigami, they need to find instant burst kills. If they're not finding that, the fights are going to be difficult.
And it's tough to get them. I mean, Namor has an ability that purposely defeats that. You can't get burst kills on him. That's the whole point. And of course, remember, he's benefiting from the team up with Lunar Snow. So there's Monstro spawn. You get an extra one and it slows you down, which is amazing against this kind of dive comp. Here comes Crazy Man, but doesn't have the damage on his own actually to work his way through the backline. But Doomed has been taken down and Shikigami gets involved. Amadian was able to wrap around here on this Psylocke now and is checking, I think, for an invisible woman after double jumping, but Nook is out of there. Shikigami's dive finally pays off. They play the riskier comp, Jake, and they get the burst they were looking for.
Doom's going for the touch with the Strange Portal. They still have Strategist ultimates. SHROUD-X are not giving up on this yet. Immediate Strategist ult into the fight. They're going to gamble on first point.
Okay, Vision as well here. Low. They're going to drop out into the... Oh, buddy! Oh, that was so nice from Daze. Vision was going to use the Horde of Proteus the second he got out of that watery cocoon, but is taken down by a crack shot from Rosterstern. Okay, here comes the Kraken impact here for Daze. Going to try and juke with that portal by the looks of things and jumps in. There's that Horde of Proteus. No good. Vision not able to find connect here, but Shikigami are running out of gas. The portal play for SHROUD-X, despite losing their name more instantly, might hurt them. Shikigami desperately being topped up now, but SHROUD-X are looking towards their backline, and they are shoring it up. Dance of the Butterfly going to be committed to the fight now by Amadian, but there's not quite enough damage here. Still can't quite cut through the healing of SHROUD-X. Doomed frozen up briefly. They've finally gotten rid of the Doctor Strange. That's a big opening. Dace now, the only shield on the map, and Impunity a little low. Needs to keep an eye out here, I think, for Crazy Man, who's going to continue to move, but a Soul Resurgence for Shikigami means they have the durability now to throw caution to the wind. An invisible barrier has been thrown up here by Nakno, and Ricky gets taken down. That's the Lunar Snow out of the mix. It's only a Mantis left for Shikigami to work with. Of course, there's an Abyssal Feast here for Crazy Man, but they probably need to regroup. That's a heartbreaker, Jake. 2 ticks and change, 95%, but no cigar for the attackers.
It's a beautiful retake from Doom because they had done so little damage in the previous fights that they just got like much faster support ultimate tempo. Great freeze, canceled that Doctor Strange ultimate from Doomed. Now, though, Shikigami have another chance with some good ultimates. Vision already low, has to force that bubble and back off the high ground.
Gets into safety though, blessing the deep, so allows him to at least have safe passage to the low ground. Yeah, Impunity there, rotated maybe towards the right, a little bit dangerous, but there's the combo. Vision drops the whale on them. Horde of Proteus guarantees 2 important KOs, and Dongmin cleans off the last remaining strategist on the side of Shikigami. The dull edge of Shikigami finally broken here as SHROUD-X able to withstand them. Sad not to see the full dive work out, but that's Rivals for you.
That's a challenge. I mean, we've seen teams succeed with full dive in the past, but honestly, spam attackers as they walk up. SHROUD-X isn't going to have as much to worry about. They are going to have to deal with the potential threat of being picked off, but Psylocke already shows herself looking to just hit tanks and limits what this front line can do. I think SHROUD-X, though, are going to get the move they look for.
Amadi into the back line. Okay, trying to combo here, of course, with the dive in of that Venom. Crazy Man has to extract himself there, and they do. They're healthy enough. They're going to be climbing amongst the masonry. Daze, of course, he can drop down and boost himself back up, so pretty easy to get reset up. And I think that's a right click that doesn't quite connect here, so the monster spawn don't make short work of their intended target, and Crazy Man gets picked off here. Shikigami, this could be a pretty quick map if this defense doesn't hold, and they've already lost 2. This is bad news bears for the defenders. Doom seems completely unperturbed, moisturized, flourishing, unbothered, staying in his lane, which is right up the nostrils of the defenders apparently. And now will be a desperate portal for Crazy Man to come on in. Only 2 other players to join them now. Shikigami still a couple of seconds off the respawn, but Shikigami can wait this out. Note the monstrous portal reset up and beautiful force physics there. Daze taken down. And that's the map, folks.
It's not an ultimate, but your consistent healing throughput is incredibly high on stacked up allies. Shikigami, see what they're able to work here on the side. Both teams having the same look here on the meta, both believing in, the duelist and strategist one-to-one team-ups. And of course, that Vanguard front line.
Okay, Amadi in there, frozen up briefly. SHROUD-X just giving the point up with the exception of their Vanguards, of course, and we'll stay there and try and hold it down. Here it is, the Z-Pack going to be popped now. As, excuse me, both of our Winter Soldiers can just go for broke with roster Stern here. They'll mix some abilities in if they have to, but generally, like the damage output you can amass here is pretty darn impressive. Pain and Voltage also throw it out, and then too much damage for Daze to deal with. Shikigami lose a crucial player.
Group goes to the skybox with the Hatemaker uppercut from Doom. Don't know what happened just there, but Shikigami down 1, backing a little, but not fully giving up the position. Amadi and getting flanked now, maybe in a little bit of trouble. Vision, though, doesn't want to take a risk on this defense.
Amadi has not been shifted so far, in fairness. That's a problem. This damage coming in now. Gift of the Seas has to be used just to heal yourself up. And here comes Shikigami now. Really want to try and push you behind his Lunar Snow ultimate. Note, though, that is still a safe position for Vision. He's sat pretty in the background now. As Crazy Man is going to have to make use of a Strangling Prison soon, but a Meteor M is a little bit more of an issue. And Amadian gets blown up. The Monstro spawn helps with the burst damage of the Magneto. And it's going to have to be a 3D printed BRB return to the fight for that and more. But Crazy Man is down, and that hurts even worse.
Yeah, and Rocket has to heal overtime right now. 2 players down. SHROUD-X sweeping forward on the map. They want to get these stagger kills. They want to clean up everybody. They are going to find Daze on the way out. That's an important pickoff now. Comes very late into the fight, and Shikigami, clock's starting to run low here. Now 2 minutes left.
Okay. Meteor M for Shikigami, pretty important. It's the only thing that can really cut through this Lunar Snow healing that Fidel is going to be sat on here for SHROUD-X. Up to the top right again. Vision might be a little bit caught out here. This is perhaps a little too aggressive a spot to be. He's able, of course, to use that shift ability and get back to safety. Doomed also trying to play from the high ground. Jake Shikigami surely wants to line up a big Meteor M here, and he's charging it.
See if he can find the elimination. Group caught forward. Impunity caught by the enemy walls. Couldn't get in. Is going to get 3D printed back into the engagement. SHROUD-X loses their Magneto as well, so struggling to keep that front line alive. Shikigami looking to clean this one up. Now Vision, though, wants to find the opportunity. Maybe with the damage amp, could find instant kills. No connection.
Speculative there, I think, from the Horn of Proteus. Doesn't also have a great sightline as he's forced to drop down behind some of these walls. Impunity falls yet again. Not a good look here for SHROUD-X on defense. Nuck, of course, has the damage booster, the CYA, but it doesn't really help. It doesn't make the difference, I think, for SHROUD-X, mostly forced off the point, and they've had to give it up. No touch in the dying moments. The Shikigami and the Symbiote are off to the races.
SHROUD-X, I think, make the wise decision to just back off there, take a better fight a little bit later onto the payload. Cart is rolling, though, for Shikigami.
I like that. CYA
good.
popped. Yeah, the damage boost, of course, plus the ammo invention for Doom just to go absolutely ham.
Damage from that global damage amp on the rest of your team is just incredibly powerful. It's good enough. Less emphasis on the defense, on tanking through ultimates, more emphasis on just raw pressure on the opponents as they walk up.
Doomed here with an off angle, a little awkward with the walls in play. He might look to go for a Kraken impact, but Crazy Man just gets blown to smithereens. Now it's a bit of janitorial duty as Doomed is going to clear those monster spawns, and Crazy Man is going to be BRB back into the fight. Here comes the Kraken impact now, and Daze hits hard. 3 players affected by it, but the healing is good enough for SHROUD-X for the time being. Doomed, though, couldn't survive the Meteor M. Buddy hell, it's the kitchen sink being thrown at them now as Daze gets the resets that comes in after that Horn and Proteus connected. We're still getting resets now. Tonight is for Daze. If you're a
But as they take this high ground, it looks like they're not really going to be forcing the issue, giving SHROUD-X a little bit of time to regroup. Let's see what the defenders use with that space.
It's likely, yeah, Shikigami just want to abuse this high ground if they can, but they don't have the kind of range that would allow them to do so. Maybe they're hoping Amadian can strike a mortal blow with some of this poke damage now, as they have an inherent positional advantage. Eventually, though, they've got to drop down. Once more, the ammo invention is going to be deployed. Now CYA in play. Here comes a Meteor M, though. I'd be afraid. And Dongmin turns Daze and Amadian into a smear on the wall. That is a dirty Magneto ult. And Shikigami finally brought to a halt.
Dongman, he's been so consistent on this Magneto, not only with the ultimates of finding a ton of opening pickoffs.
That Shikigami are looking to wrap around. This might be, though, straight into a trap. Bionic Arm going to catch Doomed out, though. This could be scary. He gets a ball walked on and is kept in the fight. Strangling Prison committed, and that's going to be enough. Surely, Kraken impact. Feels like it's not even needed. They went for it anyway. And there goes Shikigami now. Jake, they do not have enough time to have a proper crack at this.
Yeah, any stagger is going to be the game, and I wonder, even without it, Shikigami may need to go to Doctor Strange here for a desperation touch. They're going to do just that. I wonder, though, SHROUD-X, have they pushed too far off the spawn? If they get this TP in time, they are going to get the touch. They are going to be able to flip.
No. Okay, they've got to go through this TP if they can, but Daze has got to lock them out with the Doctor Strange. They can break through the shield, but Nuck's been taken down by the Ice Arts here, and things have gotten a little weird, folks. Here's the Strangling Prison, came down from Crazy Man. Fidel fell to the combo. Amadian going to be able to find 3 kills in this fight, and Shikigami, him, we give it a new lease on life, a chance to play. Got to be pretty quick about it. This is where Rocket Raccoon's healing can be a little bit hard to consistently guarantee now, because we're playing out in the open and not in these hallways. But that's what Shikigami were looking for. Meteor M collapses on Impunity, and Dongmin will be brought back into the fight, but Doomed had already been on the way out. So Nuck can only stall here, jumping up, making use of this Rocket Raccoon mobility, to be a bit of a nuisance. Dongmin has to do the same. Buy time for the lion's share of SHROUD-X to get back into the fight, because they do have a little bit to work with, including another CYA. That 40% damage boost, Jake, is nothing to scoff at.
It's nice, but they're going to have to get it done with just that. They're going to have, as well, the Doctor Strange ultimate from Daze, but we've seen teams get so good at denying the value. And hold on, they just instantly burst him down. He is going to get rezzed by the BRB, but he's going to be out of position now. SHROUD-X sweeping forward with ultimates, looking to clean this up and end this attack in its tracks.
They're setting up here. Crazy Man with the walls. Daze popped pretty instantly. There's not much you can do. This triple Vanguard setup from Shikigami might be running out of gas here. Doom tries to push forward and can at least finish the job on Ricky, and can make use of the mobility offered by Kraken Impact to return to the fray. Finally, Shiki stopped in their tracks, but Jake, I feel like they're without the ammo invention for infinite ammunition. Walls being cleared out by Impunity here, of course, to deny Crazy Man free damage if he chooses to fight them here. And Shikigami, Jacob, let SHROUD-X push up pretty far.
Yeah, and now they're going to drop the Z-Pack, full committing on Doom, who's just laying in that damage. However, Dongmin gets focused down in the same time, is going to get res back in by the BRB. Hooks being traded here on the flank. Doom dropping low, being focused fired, and Daze wins the duel.
I tell you what, man, the Bionic Arm really huge in moments like that, to just pull a player out of formation and burst them down with the combo that you have access to. Now Shikigami should be able to stagger this out a little bit further. Dongmin wary of it, but sees Ricky unprotected, exposed in the backline, is able to take down that Lunar Snow. BRB is going to bring the Luna back into the fight, but I mean, Shikigami's defenders have got to be careful of little moments like that. Dongmin has taken every lemon and turned it into lemonade over the course of this whole series. Huge pick from the Magneto, and now SHROUD-X are fighting on the point properly. Here comes the CYA, big damage boost now, and that's a pretty scary combo with the Meteor M. Dongmin lets it go, but doesn't quite connect. Crazy Man goes low enough, though, and can be worked out once the Strangling Prison was deployed. Impunity had that one stashed away for a rainy day, and SHROUD-X here begin the cap.
Yeah, I don't know if Shikigami are going to have any shot at a retake here.
Want to win a fight with really positive old economy, i.e. somehow find a way to win in the next 2 fights against Shikigami. I think given the setup here would be great, because they are in a trough in terms of their ultimate charges, as you can see. Because the dive in there, pretty aggressive. Doomed, does not fancy getting caught out by this Meteor. Scattergenki uses it really just to zone with, just dangles it aggressively in the face of Shikigami. What a Proteus, it's dirty! Oh, buddy, that is filth. Amadian able to find 3. SHROUD-X here need to pack it up. They've been put in a body bag. SHROUD-X here, we said in the next 2 fights they're looking for a win, even though they're hugely disadvantaged. Doom there just got taken down by poke damage now. Daze here can throw in a crack and impact. He doesn't need to overextend into this now. You see he's playing pretty safe. Dongmin uncharacteristically goes for a hyper aggressive Meteor M. That's something that maybe could have been saved for another fight. Crazemang's going to be out of action for now, and of course will be brought back with the BRB. And SHROUD-X need to go for this here. They've got a Horn of Proteus and they're close to a Strangling Prison, but can they get a good connection with that Cruel Ultimate to guarantee a team fight win?
Yeah, see if they can just work the cart up here. Dongmin keeping his focus on that high ground. They're laying down some suppressive fire on those duelists. Hook is blocked. Great awareness from Dongmin. We've seen how good Daze is with that tool. Impunity looking for the Strangling Prison, but it comes in first from the defenders once again. Shikigami just clean house. SHROUD-X sent reeling back to the spawn.
And realistically, Jake, that is a fight that SHROUD-X probably want to take. I think they realized at one point Impunity is getting too low in the front line. Too much damage coming his way. Dongmin tries to throw him a bulwark to keep him in the fight because, of course, that Guru ultimate needs to be there. And they don't want Impunity desperately, throwing it out there at a bit of a weird timing, making it hard for Vision to combo. So SHROUD-X say, okay, guys, we're going to take another rail here. That's 3 lost fights in a row, by the way, and try and come back and set our key ultimate up. They are so close to winning the series and getting in to our money match, Jake.
The execution on the Moore and the Luna Snow needs to be perfect. They have everything they need. Brute ult for the setup. Will they find that one shot? They don't get it though. With the whale connection, it's not enough, and that's huge for Shikigami.
That was their win condition, the silver bullet, but the Luna Snow ultimate denies so much of that. And the walls that were thrown up there by Crazemang meant that so much of that damage was prevented. Amadian's got an amazing vantage point here, and of course, more of those monster spawns are being set up on the wall. The poke damage keeps raining in. Daze going to go for it now. Sees Fidel a little bit low and tries to connect, but they're going to be healed up. Ice Arts is active, and Daze has to look elsewhere. Shikigami might have just let Shroud back into this game. Unreal. Horn of Proteus are ready for Amadian, but they get taken. But look at Shikigami have the Surf and Durf combo now. Can this be denied, dude? You can see desperately Impunity's trying to break them up, stacking them out with some of these walls and make it harder for them to get their ducks in a row, and it's worked. Okay, they get rid of the Doctor Strange. Still more work to be done though. Excuse me, the Magneto fell to Impunity. These walls breaking up line of sight. Shikigami awkwardly can't get used out of their ultimates. Amadian tries to combo here. That Horn of Proteus comes in and it catches nobody. Shikigami forced to filter in one after another with these walls in the way. Had the fight winning combo, the map winning combo potentially, Jake, and they can't deploy it.
Yeah, they just couldn't get into position. And I think notoriously this point is so difficult to recontest on Symbiotic Surface. It's why we see so many teams committing to those very aggressive forward holds, dumping ultimates, really gambling that you can make the hold earlier on in the point. Because if you're forced to retake through those chokes, it is a bad time. You just can't get in position, can't get the sight lines, even to deploy something like the Horn of Proteus.
Okay, off to the races we go. Remember, minute 33. Very vulnerable here for SHROUD-X. This has got to be a successful fight, and they're running into some of these key abilities right now. Meteor M on the horizon, as is Fidel's ultimate, but Martin's able to take them down. The monster spawns a little bit different. However, Crazemang falls, and Fidel's going to be able to get back into the fight. Remember, Rocket Raccoon can keep you rolling after losing a player, denying that pick potential. And Dongmin wants to get aggressive towards his back line now. He's looking straight at the Luna Snow, but Ricky couldn't hold up in the heat anyway. Shikigami have been vanquished as SHROUD-X